All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Socially Unacceptable But Sober podcast. My name is Dino. I am an alcoholic.
Hey, I'm Jonathan. I'm alcoholic.
Matt, alcoholic.
Jonathan and Matt. What's up?
What's going on, fella?
You know,
I don't.
not much, man.
Doing all right?
I'm doing all right, man. Doing all right. Find out I have to have surgery on my hand, which sucks.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
What's going on with you? Anything new?
Will it be fixed, though, when they do that? Like, do you think? Do they give you, like, a ratio, like a percentage?
97.
Oh, that's good odds.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's real good
It's
odds.
really not a lot that he's got to do in there, but he's just got to go in there and tweak some things.
Clean
and
some shit up.
clean some shit up, tweak some things. He said, I have 2 things. I'm supposed to have 1.
To what?
I don't know. I listen to the doctor. Whatever he says. I have 2. I need 1. And then take 1 out. You can have it.
Did you grow one?
No, I think 1 broke and became 2.
Nice.
It's
That's
like
cool.
it's like a spot where the
We're getting
the
there.
tendon goes in and out of and constricts and contracts.
Yeah.
And all that. So mine broke and it formed into 2 now. And 1 is pressing up against it. Something like that.
right.
Not really sure. He's the doctor, bro.
Yeah, a couple months down the road, you'll be back at it.
When are they doing it?
Next year. Huh?
When?
Who knows? We got to get it approved.
Oh,
Then we got to get it scheduled. Then we got to do it. Then we got 8 weeks. And then we got a therapy. And so Happy New Year.
good time.
Exciting.
Yeah, buddy. Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, share, love us, comment, sobriety dates. If you need help, let us know. Jonathan is putting that stuff on the screen right now. And tonight we have a topic, right? And Jonathan has found, is it a video?
Yeah. Yep.
It's a video.
From
and of course our comments. Don't forget our comments. Don't forget our merch. That's also right underneath us. And tonight's comments are brought to you by none other than Matt.
Yeah. You got to do the read more thing.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
First comment just came in 2 minutes ago, right under the gun. Gigi.
Cheech.
That guy that said 12-step people say that they're dry drunk or white knuckling it about people who just stop. Don't put your 12-step hate on us. He's bashing 12-step people. If it works for him, great. But for this recovering alcoholic, I'm with Dino. If I'm kicking the dog, lying, cheating, and stealing, I'm not recovering. So yeah, I'm a chronic real alcoholic. If I could have stopped by myself, I would have.
Spontaneously.
Spontaneously.
Is this the one she's on?
instantly.
The spontaneous one or the week
Yeah.
before?
No, spontaneous. My soul had a huge hole in it, and the 12 steps together with my connection with my higher power and the relationships that I've made in the rooms have made a huge difference. I am a better woman than I was when I walked in my first meeting. His message isn't for us kind of people.
Right. Exactly.
You got to do it, yeah.
Thanks, Jeej. Appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate that. I concur.
You know where I learned that? I learned that word from a movie, Catch Me If You Can, with Leonardo DiCaprio.
I've never seen that one.
Yeah, so he was a bunch of different different things. One part he was a doctor, so he started watching old movies with doctors in it, and the doctor was like, I concur. That's how I learned that word.
Dude, that's a hell of a hustle, too, because I think that's based on a true story.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. It's
Like,
based on
he
true
was
story.
like...
He was the best check casher in the world. He ended
was-
up working for the FBI.
Something to aspire to.
Yeah.
All right, anyway,
Beautiful.
back on track. Roy Bowers.
Roy, boy.
First thought, no comment. Not going down that rabbit hole.
Like us.
Second thought, I could do my own episode and commenting on this topic. Third thought, God gave me an intuitive thought. On the back of a coin I got from a group of derelicts, it says, "To thine own self be true."
Hell yeah.
That's true. It's keep it simple, man. Like, I don't judge that guy. He's
No.
got his silly ideas, and that's cool. And he obviously thinks that my ideas are silly.
Yeah.
So,
And that's okay.
that is okay.
That is okay.
Yeah. Here's our girl, Pat Russell.
Mama Dukes.
Miss Mama Dukes, Pat
My
Russell.
Dukes.
To me, this guy is promoting spontaneous recovery recovery is like making a choice to not drink or drug, completely ignoring the disease component of addiction.
Absolutely.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Mama Russell dropping some
She
pearls.
pretty much just took our whole podcast and put it in one
I'm going to
sentence.
just shut it down. We're all done. We'll just shut it down tonight.
Shut it down.
My Dukes.
The disease is real, and he makes it all sound like a moral decision. He's oversimplifying the disease, in my opinion.
Look at Mom coming
Wow.
through. I guess all those years and years of rehab paid off, Mom.
For one of his, Pat. And then we have our boy Sean. Appreciate the love, guys, and that you all.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna read it the way that it says it, and that you all for being with me on this journey. Keep up the great work and spreading the message.
He's got to stick around with Scott a little bit better, a little longer.
And then we got our boy Jay Gentile.
Jay.
Stand in water next time.
For the corrective collar.
Ah, boy.
That's a good one, man.
And then this is from Alyssa. Is it more important to be able to say that you're sober or to be able to say that you're healing? That's a good question. I hope that deciding to or being able to spontaneously recover means that a person has decided to spontaneously work on themselves to be a better human too. Can't treat a symptom without treating a cause. As always, grateful for being able to get my weekly therapy from you guys.
I really like that. I replied to
That was
Alyssa,
awesome.
'cause, yeah, that was...
That's another nutshell.
Dude, because...
Why don't you guys come do this podcast?
I know, man.
Yeah, we'll take a couple
Just save
weeks
us
off.
at 48 minutes.
Because in reality, man, it is at one point we all made a decision to get better. We all made a decision that shit was going to change.
Just a quick shout out to Roy and John's mom. How about that week 1, baby?
Oh,
Yeah.
give me a break.
Oh, is that a cowboy?
The
Oh,
Cowboys.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and shout out to my buddy Vinny also in the
Vincenz.
Cowboys. I surround myself with Cowboys fans, and being a Jets fan, man, I have to say that we came out winners last night, even though we lost the game.
Yeah, you came out pretty much losers, pretty much for the
Well,
whole
nope.
game.
Nope.
It was bad.
Nope. We
Oh.
did not lose our quarterback in the first half. We
He
still have
did
one of
limp a
those.
little. He did limp a little.
Yeah, I mean,
He's got to be a little happier, dude. He's so miserable when they don't catch the ball. When they do catch the ball, he's just like,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
He's a cool dude. I like Aaron.
I like him too. I like some of his views on some things.
Yeah.
So anyway, cool guys. Thank you again for the comments. We really appreciate them and amazing comments. So what do we got tonight for a topic? Brought to you by John.
Yeah. So this one came from a channel. It's called Read or Red Mind, but it's a woman sharing her opinion. I think this is applicable because it's not a recovery based video. It's a more general sweeping video. So it's about a minute long. So I'll play it for y'all. And then we'll take our turns on the
We'll bash it or smash it.
bat. Are those both
Those are
bad
kind of the
things?
same.
Yeah.
Depends how you look at smash.
Yeah, smash could be a good thing. All right, let's check out what she has to say.
Toxic people will always focus on your reactions. Have you ever noticed that when you bring something to a toxic person, a hurt they've caused, a mistake they've made, whatever it is, instead of taking responsibility or listening to understand, they immediately turn the focus to your reaction. Why are you so angry? Well, if you're going to be offended, no responsibility, just a complete flip to change the focus of the conversation to your reactions. And you were hoping to have a conversation that could potentially bring healing and resolve to the relationship, but instead you're met with a dysfunctional diversion. And that's why every interaction with them feels like emotional quicksand. Never staying on topic, never dealing with the issues at hand. Because the truth is, they're not looking for resolve in the relationship. They're looking to avoid shame and responsibility. And the price they're willing to pay is you.
The price they're willing to pay is you. Boom. Toxic people. That is the topic of the day. Go.
What do you got?
What do I got?
You've seen this one, right?
Yeah, I saved this one because as I was scrolling through it, man, there's several people that flip up in my mind, but even more importantly, and you talked about this one time, is I wonder why these people come up into my mind. And it's because I was the most toxic out of anyone. Because I lived like I was that person that you talked about. I deflected everything. Nothing was going to get me to look inside and tell you what my problem was, because it was just so much easier to say that it was somebody else's problem, somebody else's fault. Even bad luck is a good blame on taking the responsibility off myself. And now, and kind of going like what we were talking about last week, dude, I don't care if you got another solution to your sobriety journey, your mental health, whatever, your journey of life, period. If it works for you, that's awesome. But the minute that you got to start demeaning something else in favor of your solution, I got a problem with that, man, because then you make me feel like, all right, well, my way isn't right, or my way is not correct, you know, and that's just not true, you know. Like I can't apply my solution to you because, you know, it might be there might be different details in there. The thing that I like about our fellowship and our yeah, I'm making sure I've got it close here. The thing I like about our fellowship, man, is that, you know, it could be your higher power, could be whatever it needs to be.
Higher power?
It can even be a higher power. You know, it could be the pyre. And that's really cool. You know, I do a thing where on Fridays I let, you know, some clients kind of get involved. And, you know, it's amazing. I learned something from everybody. And that's the power of changing our perspective. And in turn, that allows me to gravitate away from those toxic people and really immerse myself in the people that I can learn from, that I can grow with, you know. And I see it, man, like this morning, just driving in. I called you last week. I called you because of my God moment I had on the highway. I had this feeling. I was like, dude, I got to take it slow, and I needed to share it.
Yeah,
I figured you were tattooing, so
No,
that's
you
why I
didn't.
didn't.
You
Yeah,
didn't
I
think
did.
No,
Yeah,
you
he said it. He said it to me. He was like, I was going to call Matt, but I figured he'd be busy, and he knows I ain't doing it.
Yeah, I know he ain't doing
Goddamn thing.
jack shit.
Except for today.
We'll get into that later.
His dance card was full today.
Big time.
And yet I still did nothing. Man, my thumb sure is tired.
So I realized, man, like people driving like, you know, just so self-absorbed, so unaware of the surroundings and the people around you, man, that it's just easier. Sometimes I just got to take a back seat and chill in the right lane and do 65 with the tractor trailer in front of me and just chill, enjoy my ride in, you know.
That is so crazy, dude, that you said that, because me and my wife just had that conversation today.
Oh, yeah?
Because, you know, we're fast lane drivers.
Yeah.
My wife is not
No.
a fast lane driver. So she literally said that. She goes, I like the guy who sits in the right lane behind the tractor trailer doing the speed limit without a care in the world. He's like, I think he's got balls.
Kills me.
Dude, I said,
I know it kills
as long
me.
as they stay in the right lane, I'm cool with him,
Stay
too.
the fuck
I
out
think
of
he's
my
great.
way. I love him for staying out of my way.
You know why? Because they're predictable. Because they just, you know, they're
Yeah.
not going to do anything crazy or evasive.
My
Listen.
chill is 90.
Yeah.
I have a pretty good chill, you know. But yeah, dude, toxic people, you know.
I think, go ahead.
When I think of toxic people, I think of all the people that are not in my life right now for particular reasons. And, you know, sometimes, I don't know, but correct me if I'm wrong, somebody's toxicity could actually be good for somebody else, just not for me. Just not for me. Like, no? Okay. Well,
I could see the flip on that. I could see where you're
I'm
going.
not talking about you're going to save somebody's life.
No.
Save somebody's life. Their toxicity. Okay, I'm going to bring up a few people. Okay, I have a family member who, no matter what, knowing who I am, constantly has to put alcohol in front of me.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Really?
Knowing, bro. And I have stole so much from this cat.
Yeah.
And we've had arguments and family brawls and all this thing as a direct result of what I used to do. Mm-hmm. So here I am now. And it's like, no thanks, and no thanks, and no thanks, and no thanks. But after a while, I have to stop being as nice with my no thanks because I feel like you're like trying to get me to drink.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I've had to cut ties with that guy.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I wish it could be different.
Right.
I really, really do because he's a family member. You know
So,
what I
but
mean?
help me understand. The initial statement was
Yeah,
his toxicity might be good for somebody else.
I would.
Yeah.
This particular one is not
Okay.
good for somebody else. I was just thinking about other people. But people like that, like I had to cut my brother off, who's no longer with us, by the
Right.
way. You know what I mean? This was my ride to die dude. We were best friends. We did everything together.
Yeah.
But this time in sobriety, I still wanted him around because it's my brother, man. You know what I mean? And my mom was sick and all that stuff. But dude, he would come with like, smell this. This is the best. I just picked it out of the plants. And I'm like, dude, get that away from me. Or you just show up unannounced with a 6-pack and some pills. And it's like, I was like, what do I do here?
He was that way though.
He was.
I used to want to kill him.
But dude,
I
it's
was
like,
locked up with his brother.
Really?
but
Yeah.
like, he was so drowning in his own thing.
He couldn't see what he was
He couldn't
doing.
see what you were
Right.
doing to me. And it got to that point where I was like, dude, listen, I don't want you at my house no more.
Yeah.
Don't call me no more. Like, I don't want to hang out with you anymore. And, you know, I know he caught a resentment towards what we do because of it. And to one is against me as well. And, of course, directly into, oh, you think you're better and all that stuff. And I was just, you know, I pray for the dude. I'm like, man, I hope he gets this one day because he knows where we're at.
Right.
And it was tough to do that because some people just don't realize that they are toxic people. You know what I mean? My brother didn't really, because let's face it, every time I got out of rehab, I'd hook up with my brother, and 2 weeks later, we're doing the same thing. Or he'd come out of prison, and I'd be like, here you go, dude. Here's this fatty ready for you, bro.
Right.
One time I came out of a rehab, I picked him up at a bus station. He was just coming home from Indiana, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm doing good. I have a long time sober. Like, it's been 2 weeks. Right? 2 weeks, man. I've been sober.
Doing the
and
damn thing.
He's like, oh, cool, man. Good for you. He's like, check out what I just brought from Indiana. I'm like, nah, dude. No. Dude, I'm thinking maybe 2.5 miles into that ride. I'm like, let me try some of that shit. You know what I mean? And he wasn't trying.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But
he
like,
was just being himself.
he's just being himself. And if I allow that type of person in my life
Right.
and me being who I am, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
99.9% of the time, it's going to be a wrap. Today, I could stand up for myself. I could be assertive.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know that I could be assertive.
Yeah.
And you? Yeah, a little bit. Little above and beyond sometimes, and a little bit too overboard. But I can't be assertive. I like to call it passionate.
That's
Yes.
a good word.
Yes. Shout out to Sandra. That's what she calls me.
Yeah, so I think about the people that I no longer choose to associate with. It's like there's a reason. Like if you're not winning with me, if we're not moving in that direction, if we're not trying to look forward and not stay stuck or bring up old stuff and constantly over and over again doing the same things, if you're not about that with me, man, listen, I gotta go. I gotta move.
I gotta keep
and
going.
I'm
it ain't
sorry.
personal.
It ain't personal, man. It's about me, dude. It's about my life.
Right.
And sometimes it don't even have anything to do with drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like if you're taking me off my beam because it's some way you act or some listen, I gotta go, man, because I can't afford for me to be teetering off a beam. I can't afford
So
that.
I just had a guy talking about this today, and he went back out over the weekend. He went to a minor league baseball game, and he was really kicking himself and talking about how he went there with all the intentions to not drink, and
I don't know if that's true.
yeah, and that's kind of what I talked to him about. I was like, but dude, that's like it's not the point when you're like at the stadium and you're looking at the two sleeves of nips and all this stuff. That's not the point that we start thinking like, oh, I'm not going to do this, because that lasted a whole fucking 20 minutes, I think, until he was like, give me one of those. It's the point of like back to toxic people, man. And they might not be toxic to others, but to me, you're poison. To me,
Let me just ask you.
yeah.
You're going to go out somewhere tonight.
Yeah.
Is the first thought in your head, I'm not going to drink?
Now.
Right. So if my first thought is I'm not going to drink, that means drinking's already on my mind.
It's already a thought.
Right.
Yeah, it's already a thought.
But we disguise it by saying, I ain't going to drink tonight.
Or at least without having a plan to get the hell out of shit in case shit goes down.
Well, bro, it doesn't even have to go that far, man. Because I don't have these people in my life.
Right.
It was difficult to exile myself from what was toxic for me because that's all I knew. That's all I knew, and it took time, and it's uncomfortable, and it's fucking difficult. But at some point, I got to be like you said. I got to be assertive, and I got to be like, yo, bro, you don't have a problem, but yo, that social 3 or 4 beers that we'll have turns into like a long ass pain and suffering experience for me.
Turns into 2-3 days.
Yeah,
Easy.
if we're
2-3
lucky,
days.
man.
It's like,
You know, and so I was trying to relay that, but I don't know, man. It's when you propose to somebody that you got to change a lot about your life, mostly everything, including those people, it's hard to swallow.
It is hard because some of them are great people.
Yeah, they are.
You know, I have 2 really, really good friends, man. We've grown up since we were 6-7 years old together, man, you know? And I love these guys to death. And if they were in a jam and they really needed some help, dude, I'd be there for them.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. But they call me all the time at like midnight,
Oh, God.
2 o'clock in the morning. Come on, bro, let's get the band back together. You know what I mean? Like that type of shit. And I'm like, oh, man. I will never say, listen, you're toxic for me.
Yeah.
I don't have to say that. I
Yeah.
just don't have to say that because the only reason they would be toxic for me is because I'm toxic. I don't have the mindset to be able to do what they do.
Yeah.
They could do that once a week.
It's crazy.
You know what I mean? Have a great time and then go about their lives. I'm not the type. I don't do one nights. I don't think I've ever done one nights in my life, Mel. Not one time.
I worked with a dude, man, and I knew shit was sideways. I knew shit needed to change, but I worked with this guy, and man, I dreaded the phone call every day because we worked kind of hand in hand on projects together. He did the data part of it, and I did this other part. And it was just the tone of the phone call, the anger and the angst on how much life sucks and how much everything's going wrong and all this stuff, man, to the point where I was like coming up with excuses. And now, mind you, I wasn't sober here. Like I was still like medicating myself. I knew the gig was up, but like I had to come up with excuses why I just didn't. How can I work with you without having to fucking conversate with you? You know, we weren't even in the same office, and it was like this guy would just bring the mood straight down for me, and it was just so fucking terrible. And I didn't have that. I didn't have a program in my life. I didn't have people to if I'm having a bad day, I could holler at one of you guys and just wrap the shit. And it doesn't even have to be about what's going on in my life. It just be talk about whatever bullshit about this or bust each other's balls, and I get a smile on my face, and the day gets a little bit lighter. But man, back then I didn't have that. I did not have that. So yeah, it was tough.
You got something to say?
I'm just waiting for my turn.
Go ahead, buddy.
You guys had it going, so I'm just falling back. Watch.
I know. Because you wanted to say something twice already.
Yeah, but I'm not going to fuck up the flow.
I know. Nobody wants to be a Manny.
Nah.
Yeah.
I'm well versed in Mannyism. I think the first thing I thought about was, and I think you both hit off it, is initially I'm the toxic one in the group. And she hit it right on the head. Like, I'm immediately flipping it on you. And my go-to is, why are you such a pussy?
Yeah.
Like, instantly attack your ego.
Yeah.
So put you on guard, because there's no way I'm owning anything that's going on here, right? I am blowing shit up, but I'm not going to own one iota of it, And then I'm gonna insult your ego and your integrity and shit all over you about it. And I'm the one that caused it all. And then you hit on a real good point about having people in your life that are somewhere along the lines it's switched where I'm not going to say that I can never be toxic anymore.
Right.
But considerably less. To where now I'm finding toxic people in my life.
Yeah.
And the thing that would always keep them in my life was my ego. I feel like I'm a pussy because I can't handle it.
Oh.
right? So I'm like, and it brings me back to a situation. I had two friends. We met up the way. We got real close. We were together for a couple of years, and we all hit the brick. And I'm the only one staying sober, and they're doing their thing. But luckily for me, one was in Enfield, one was in Manchester. And I remember calling one of my buddies up north, and I said, I'm starting to really be sober. Mm-hmm. I'm starting to live sober and being conscious of who's in my life. Mm-hmm. And I'm feeling bad that I'm keeping these relationships now. Mm-hmm. And I call up a friend of mine, and I said, man, you know, Robert, I know these guys are doing dirt, and I justified it by saying they're far enough away that they can't really hurt me. Mm. It's not like they could show up in out of the blue on my doorstep. Right. It's too far. And literally it did never happen. He said, you know, man, you don't have to worry about that. He said, people in relationships like that tend to take care of themselves.
Ooh.
And as long as you stay the course.
Yeah.
You continue to do what you're doing. You stay on track and be mindful of how you live your life. Those people realize they don't have a place in your life anymore. Right. And lo and behold, you know, sad to say, one committed suicide and the other one moved out in Midwest. And they it was almost like, you know, within a few months of him telling me that, they disappeared.
Wow. Is that crazy, man?
No, it's actually not.
No.
Not anymore, anyway.
Anytime something like that goes on, I immediately think, you know, God does for me what I cannot do for myself. Mm. And, you know, then now I also had to learn this of having toxic people come at me. I have to put my ego in check myself, because you say something to me that's fucked up, immediately I'm already doing that.
I can't relate.
Yeah, I know you can't. But because I don't have it in my mind to say, whoa, let's put a pause in there, you know? And like she said, I wouldn't listen to be a communicator. I'm listening to be a responder.
Yeah.
There is nothing getting in. I'm only ready to bark back. And I needed to learn that, you know, I have had situations where you can still have a conversation with someone toxic.
Right.
If you can control yourself.
Right.
And that, you know, which always boils down to, where am I at? With, you know, those that are familiar with a 6 and 7.
Where am I at?
How am I doing with my own character defects? And if I'm okay mentally, spiritually, emotionally, I am more equipped to handle a conversation and do it correctly. So,
right.
You know, it's real easy to say, and I was a master at this, well, you shouldn't have said the dumb shit you said that flipped me off the handle. Mm-hmm. If you shut the fuck up, it wouldn't have went down that way. Mm-hmm. But then I had to take a step back once I got into this process and started to say, you know what? It doesn't matter what you say to me. If we're in this situation and you pop off at me, it doesn't give me the right to act up, but I also can't dead the relationship right in the moment.
Right.
I still got to behave right.
Right.
I exit out of there right. And then tomorrow I say, you know what, man, not for nothing, I ain't around. You know? And I don't have to demean you. I don't have to disrespect you. I just have to say, man, we're just on some different shit right now. Mm-hmm. You know, I love you, but I just got to keep it moving, man. I'm gonna take a back seat to this.
Right.
So, you know, that toxicity, man, it's tough. It really is tough, and it will creep into your life without you even realizing it, until fuck you, and it's already too late, man.
I can't relate to that.
No, I know you can't. Nah.
You said it, though. I was thinking about this. It'll creep in, and sometimes I'll have like guilt by association. Like, you've ever been in that situation where somebody's like, talking character assassinating, right? Like we're just demeaning the values and the morals of this being, and that person's not here.
I can't relate to that.
And I'm like, yeah, shit. And it's
There's
almost
no
like
relating going on tonight at all.
before I notice
This
it,
is
I'm
foreign
like,
to me.
holy shit, I am going down this fucking rabbit hole. And because I've been, because I surround myself with more positive and level-headed individuals, I start to realize, like, yo, this is fucked up. And it's usually people that aren't in the program or not, working a program in their life. But it makes me feel uncomfortable to the point where, like, wow, that shit'll sneak in real quick. And I'll start demeaning you real fast, Mm-hmm. And it's usually because, and you said it a couple episodes ago, it's because these are the way that this is the way I used to act, man. This is how I operated.
That's old hat.
Yeah.
Yep. But it always reflects back to where am I at in my journey? Mm-hmm. Am I working with others? Am I being mindful? Am I in touch with a higher power? Am I working to be better today than I was yesterday?
Right.
And then, that's all like, I always used to say, that's, that after school happy horse shit, but it's true. Absolutely. It really is absolutely true, man. And, the longer, I love that, I learned this years ago, the more I learn, the less I know.
Mm-hmm.
True story.
And I just strive to continue to, hear whatever I can hear, good, bad, or indifferent, because everything's going to teach me. Everything is going to teach me, man. It's going to either teach me what to do or what not to do. Mm. And they're all valuable lessons.
Right.
I think that for a point in my life, I thought, man, I just got to learn this good shit. No, I need to be aware of the bad, too. Mm. They always use this, you don't hear it anymore. My disease is out in the parking lot doing push-ups. Well, you know what? My disease is sitting right here with me. Mm-hmm. Because it wants to learn every trick it can to try to trip me up. And if it's allowing a toxic person into my life to talk shit to me and make me feel less than, guess what? You can't make me feel less than.
Right.
Only I can allow that because there's
that.
Something wrong with me inside.
I just said that to your dad out there. I said, I am my worst enemy. The only person who could take me out is me.
That's right.
Nobody.
Pops?
I said, it's your old man outside. Yeah, we're talking.
I got to hear, what was his feedback?
He said, you're right. Dude, your dad will agree with anything I say out there, bro.
He's hilarious.
Huh?
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he is. Relationships, intimate relationships with, boyfriend and girlfriend type things. And my whole entire life, I was the toxic person in the relationship. Yeah. Okay. Good people. You know what I mean? Good girls. But I was always the one being me, doing what I do.
Yeah.
So I come into sobriety and I start getting into relationships against suggestions, against better judgments and all that stuff. Matter of fact, not even asking.
Yeah.
I'm not even asking. I'm just jumping into this shit.
Yeah.
Kicking
doors in.
And now, like you said, I'm starting to get sober. Like, what's happening here? Like, I got sober. I'm doing the right things. Why are these relationships not going well? I was going towards the same people.
Yeah.
Going to the I wasn't changing. I was changing, but going in the same direction that I came from at the same time.
People, places, and things.
People, places, and things. When it came to relationships, and finding myself like months into the relationship going, what the hell am I doing, man? What is going on? And now, well, you just said that, my ego won't let me just bounce out of there. Yeah. Because I should be able to handle this.
I'm gonna ride it out.
This will get. I'll fix it.
Yeah.
This will get right. This is gonna be.
Yeah.
This is gonna be fine. And then quickly realize,
I'll fix this.
I'll fix this. Push it. Do it this way. And then after a long, miserable on both sides, I'm sure I was no.
Yeah.
Circus to deal with after we realized
you are a circus.
I'm a circus.
You're no bargain, but you're a circus.
Just because the monkey's off my back, the circus is still in town, boys.
Sure is.
So And now, after a long time of both of us being in a relationship that neither of us want to be in,
Yeah.
my ego will not let me until it finally snaps.
Yeah.
And then it always ends badly.
Gotta burn
You know what I
down.
mean? It's got to burn down.
Yeah.
So who's the toxic one there? Me again. Innocent people coming up, meeting me. I'm getting better. You're still the same type of person, which is fine. This is what I was talking about with, like, it could be good for somebody else. It just wasn't good for me. You know what I mean? One relationship I could think about, right? She just got married and is happy. You know what I mean? So whatever her stuff is, that was kind of toxic for me.
Yeah.
She had a lot of things, you know what I mean? But this guy loves it. So freaking awesome. Good. Awesome. I'm glad that two people met each other and they're living a happy life. I love it, man. You know what I mean? No hard feelings, no nothing. But I was the most toxic one in there because I should have just got the hell out of there. Right. Or even better, not even got into it to begin with.
Screw for every nut, man.
Yeah. Ask for every seat.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No.
I had a
A lot of that.
We're all dancing on eggshells here, trying not to interrupt each other. It's very polite. I had this 2-year habit cycle, like where I would get in a relationship. I would do whatever I needed to do.
2 years.
2 years.
I would do the same
I
thing.
never could make it to like past the 2 years. It would just blow up in a flaming, glorious dumpster fire.
2 years.
Yeah.
I'm good for like 30, 60 days.
No, man. I would
See, I would have loved that. Are you talking about inact? Oh no, you're not talking about inactive because never mind.
No,
I just did math in my head.
I was using and it never worked out. And then once I took the suggestion and I started to hang around the people that I wasn't necessarily drawn to, but I knew I needed to be around, like you guys. Yeah. I was like, all right, shit's starting to change. But this is how God works in my life. Because I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I was pulling a geographical, and God just happened to bless me with this pearl of Ashley in my life that watched out for me, stayed with me, took care of me, and somehow stuck that hell shit fire dumpster.
Red flag.
She hung it out. And I, in my past, was never...
Stop real quick. I read a thing the other day. It said, you like to call them red flags. I like to call them things you don't know about me.
That's true.
That is true, yeah. I'm good at hiding them.
10 fun facts you don't know about me.
Yeah.
It's not a checker
I'll
flag.
burn your shit down. Go ahead.
But now look at that. You know, now she's my wife. She's my partner in
baby mama.
In not crime, in positivity, in sobriety,
Yeah,
and
life.
Yeah, in life,
The
man.
true essence of life.
Try to die, baby.
You know, I remember you talked about, we talked about getting sober and looking at these things in these relationships. I remember, I don't know if any of you have a specific memory, but I remember the very night in the free world that I did something for my sobriety that I was never willing to do before. Mm-hmm. I had people, I always used to get the UFC fights, right? Had people over.
Yeah.
And I had a friend over, and they're not in the program, and they invited some friends over. I said, yeah, go ahead, fuck it. And one of my friends heard them have a conversation on the phone, and they're like, yeah, you can bring whatever you want to drink. And he comes to catch me in the kitchen. He's like, yo, they told them they could bring liquor over here. I said, oh, yeah? So I go confront them. I'm like, you told them people they could bring booze here? And they're like, yeah. I said, you better call them back then and tell them don't come here. If
Or
they
don't bring booze.
Or, one or the other.
Yeah.
They're more than welcome, but if they got to bring booze, then tell them to stay the fuck away. And they were like, you were never like that before. I said, you know what, man, you're right. I never was. And I also never gave a fuck about being sober.
Right.
And, it clicked were
you like, holy shit.
Literally.
Where'd that come from?
The first time in my, it's like when two gears just mesh together perfectly. I felt like I was taking that next step in the journey. And I realized that I am willing to do what's necessary to get the better life that we heard about. And not let my ego say, oh, yeah, I can handle it. And you know what? I may have been able to, but why should I?
Test that theory, bro.
That's the thing, you know? I would rather fucking not entertain it and stay safe than entertain it and possibly not stay safe.
I knew when you said that, I instantly thought the moment popped right into my head that I was willing to do something to have crazy difference. Because you were never going to take away, and this is just for me, you were never going to take away my Xanax and my other medication because that's prescribed by a doctor, and I don't give a fuck
and I
what
really,
you
really
say,
need it.
and I really, really need this.
You don't understand.
I remember getting out of the hospital the next day, and the dudes came up to me, and they're like, listen, man, you should probably go to detox now, and I'm going to give you a piece of advice. Take all these pills with you and give them over and say that you can't take them anymore. They were like, they're fucking killing you. And it was like...
But deep down, you did know that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You knew that.
I knew that they were a crutch, and I didn't know what the long-term goal was going to be with them. Like I didn't know.
Well, the fear. Fear kept you stuck.
Fear. I figured I'd figure it out. You know, I was going to figure it out.
Let's take another Xanax. I'll figure it out.
We're good figurers.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. And then I was like, shit, man, maybe this medication, it does work for other people, but for me, it just kept me sick, man. And I was like, yep, fuck it, you know. And I wouldn't let go of this, man, because I gave her a bottle, I think it was Valium, 120 Valiums, and I was like, what am I doing? And I was like, you know what? She probably fucking took it.
Yeah, she's probably selling them.
She's selling them.
I would have sold
She's
them.
fucking using them.
I'm not giving them away. I'll earn, but I won't take them. But I'm going to earn.
Oh God, man.
I have the. When I got sober, I was in Stamford, Connecticut. So I was.
I love that he says that.
Yeah.
He always lets you know Waterbury, Connecticut, Stamford, Connecticut.
Well, it's significant to this because
no, but you don't need to say Connecticut, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah,
we
that's
know where
right.
you're at.
Stamford, New York.
Well, for the people in the rest of the world listening,
The rest of the world.
the rest of the world in Venezuela, right? We
That's
get
right.
like 77.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I'll look the stats.
I was pretty protected there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I didn't know nothing.
Yeah.
I knew no one. No one knew me. I didn't. So staying A to B, keeping it moving, staying forward was pretty easy there. And when I came back to Waterbury, Connecticut,
Oh, Waterbury, Connecticut. Oh, okay.
I was really worried about coming back.
I
there,
bet.
man.
I was too.
I was like, man, I think this is gonna be bad, man. And you know, people would say, dude, it's not where you're living, it's how you're living, man.
Right.
But then I also had people going, dude, don't go back to where you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh God, I don't know what. So I get here, and I went to a certain place near the police station to live for a little while, and then I got a gift card for clothes, and I had to go to Walmart, and I'm in Walmart, and one of my old drug dealers is right behind me. Now here's something that changed, because I used to be real passive. When I would get out of rehab, I would see him like, yeah, no, I'm trying to do good.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take your number. And no, I don't want
Just
your
in
number. And
case.
being really, really, really nice and, you know, forgiving and all that stuff. And for the first time in my life, I'm like, dude, get the fuck away from me.
wow.
Like, and I'm like, holy shit, like, where'd that come? I've never talked. I mean, I have talked to drug dealers like that, but like, in all fucked up, you know what I mean? But I never meant it because I was worried about my sobriety.
Tomorrow. Well, no, you didn't want to do it then because you were worried about tomorrow and you're gonna need to call them again.
Yeah. Dude, it was crazy. And then shortly after that, I was going to another group up the street from that on I don't know what the name of the place is now. And I had gotten there really early, and I'm standing in front, and a dude starts walking by me. He's like, yo, you straight? And any other day, I'd be like, no, dude, I'm cool, and no, I'm good, man. You know, try to stay sober, or like, what do you got? You know, or something like that. And I was like, yeah, no, man. I was like, I need a hug, man. You got a hug for me, bro? Because I'm happy about life. I love sobriety. I love where I'm headed. And I'm like, and this dude's like, what? Get the hell away from me. I'm like, oh, you ain't got no hugs, bro. I need a hug real bad. And I'm just like loving the fact that I don't have to be. That floored me, dude. When I told that dude, get the fuck away from me, I was like,
That's crazy.
whoa,
Who
dude.
is this person?
Whoa, man. Yeah, no, I don't need no phone numbers. I don't need nothing. I don't need to see it. Dude, this all happened within a week of me being back in Waterbury, Connecticut. was on a city bus, and some dude I was locked up with was like, "Oh, yo, what's up?" I'm like, "Hey, man, how you doing?" He's like, "Yo, check this out, man. I just got put on, man. I got the biggest ones around." And he just hands a handful of 20s, huge 20s in a bag.
Nice.
And I look at it, I go, "Bro, get that fucking shit away from me." Yeah. He's like, "Bro," he's like, "Don't even worry about it. You ain't even got to pay me, yo. You help me out." And
I know how that
I
works
was
out.
like, "Bus driver." I was like, "This guy's trying to sell drugs to us on the bus. I don't even give a shit about being a rat anymore, dude. This is about me, bro.
Yeah.
I love where I'm going, man. I want to protect my sobriety, and that's my responsibility."
And
If I start being passive and I start keep looking at that a little bit longer.
Yeah. Well, and that's also, and again, we can translate this, man, even if it's not about sobriety, if it's about fucking, toxic people, like I gotta be out for me, man. If you're, I can offer you some help, but when you start, pulling those cards that really are sensitive to me, man, I got to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
I got some fun stats, by the way, for when you brought up Venezuela. Check this out, dude. So for our podcast, I mean, most of it comes from the United States, right? But we've got 16% of listeners tuning in from Cambodia with subtitles, Nepal.
Oh, with subtitles? Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. YouTube translates all this shit we say into
No shit.
text.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna
like
have
to
to
see
start
the
learning some of that
translation.
so I can say thank you in their language, bro.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool.
If it's subtitling it, then I don't have to do that. Thank you.
Yeah. Just thank you. But pretty cool, man. I definitely relate to that. When you were saying that, I remember I was in I still had no license at the time, and I walked down to the gas station for a pack of cigarettes. I was smoking, and this dude that I used to sell to and buy from walks in out of the blue, and he looked like shit, man. Hey, how you doing, man? You looking good? I was like, yeah. You're looking,
You look like you
you.
need something.
You're looking like you.
He's like, yo, take my number, man. We'll fucking get up. We'll get down. And I was like, shit, bro. So I took his number, but not on a phone. I wrote it, I guess, the attendant for, I don't got my phone on me. Yeah, let me write on a piece of paper. And I just tossed that shit away, man. And no harm, no foul,
Yeah, no harm, no foul.
I
I'd rather say fuck you, dude. Get
Yeah.
your fucking number away from me, dude.
I ran into a dude at Texas Roadhouse, and I'm so fucked up. I didn't recognize him. He came up to me, and I robbed him. I robbed him for like a quarter pound of coke and 2 pounds of weed. And he was like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "Who the fuck are you?"
He's like, you don't remember?
He's like, you got that money?
stole all that.
He didn't say shit,
Don't you owe me money?
but yeah, that was funny.
I want to get back to being the toxic person in my life. I was talking about this today about not having a license coming into sobriety. I didn't have a license for like 9 years, and any other time in my life, bro, I'll drive. I don't care if I don't have a license. I'm staying sober, so it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, if I'm going to a meeting, that's a good reason to drive. You know what I mean? But for some reason, this sobriety, man, I really stuck to not deviating in any direction whatsoever. And I had a couple of months after moving back here, I had access to a car. And I could have manipulated that person into letting me use the car for sure. But I didn't want to be toxic to myself. I guess that's the word, because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this the right way. I'm going to ask for rides. I'm going to go try to get my license back. I am going to get the learner's permit that I'm supposed to have now, because you don't get your license back right away.
you go through
I'm
the
not going to
steps.
drive after midnight. I'm not going to drive alone. All this stuff. And I stuck to it, man, And the whole time during that, I never once thought, till now, that I want to deviate.
Right.
Not once. I loved the movement I was making in sobriety, like you were talking about. I really wanted this, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I knew that deviating, and I learned this in rehab, man, like A to B. If you say you're going to Target to go get some toiletries, you go to Target and you come back.
Yeah.
You don't take side streets. You don't go talk to this one and make friends with that one and get phone numbers or jump in a car, because you are not allowed to be in a car.
Yeah.
And I did that. And so I come back here and I'm like, no, man, I'm not driving. I don't care. I'll make all the phone calls I have to get rides. I'll walk if I have to. I'll pedal a bike. And eventually, one day, I'll be able to drive myself to a meeting. I just have to stick to this plan.
Yeah.
And I'm living that plan, man. You know what I mean? It's
I
beautiful.
did that with my motorcycle license.
Yeah?
I never had a bike license my whole life. And when I came home this last time, I bought the bike. I don't think I ever told you guys this. When I came home in '09, and I said within 1 year I want to own a Harley and have a shop. I came home November 3rd. The shop was open August 7th, and the bike was delivered October 31st.
Wow.
And the reason the bike was delivered was because I did not have my license yet.
Yeah, so you couldn't
and
drive
I said,
home.
I'm not breaking the fucking law.
That's right, man.
I'm not going to do what I always do
Because why?
because I got what I always
That's
got.
it, right? It's not science.
know,
it's
and
not
I-
rocket science, man.
And it's like you said, man, I felt amazing because I stood for something. I had some principle. I had a goal. I had a vision, and I was able to accomplish that.
And how hard was it?
Not hard at all.
You know what was hard, though? I'll tell you what was hard.
Uh-oh.
38, 39 years old, taking the fucking driving test again. I was like,
What do you mean?
all those pressures. I had got my learner's permit, right? And
Yeah.
then I had to go take my driving
Yeah,
test,
yeah,
like
yeah.
the actual physical driving test.
Yeah.
I had to do all over again.
I didn't have to do
You didn't have to do that in Waterbury, huh?
No, I did it in New
They don't
York.
give a shoot here, bro. Like, go around the block, park it. You're good.
No, and the whole
like,
time I
okay.
had my interlock going off. It'd like beep, and I'd have to blow into it, and like, how do I do this right? You know? And the lady's like, because I'm like, man, it was COVID, so like appointments were far and few between. We're both wearing a mask. I'm like,
Did you pull over to do that? Oh, yeah, you had to.
Yeah,
pull over.
I had
You don't
to,
wanna do
yeah.
that while you're driving.
I had to, dude, all those fears from when I was 16, because I failed my first time. They're
Me too. And
straight.
the second time.
I never failed, and I went high as fuck.
I failed because I was just being cocky.
Remember
as
the old
hell.
DMV?
That's exactly why I
Doc's
failed.
motorcycle
Oh,
park?
yeah.
I took the test out of there.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I failed, the cockiness, man. I did the reverse when I was 16 with my hand around the girl's fucking,
Dude,
like this.
my
They're like,
second
what are you
time,
doing?
I passed the written the second time. The first time I didn't even pass the written.
Nice.
Because they're like, what's this? I'm like, it's that. They're like, wrong. I'm like, nah, that ain't. I'm like, what's this? I'm like, it's that. They're like, wrong. I'm like, what the fuck? Right. Wrong. Now you're done with the test. I'm like, well, cool, I'm done. They're like, yeah, you failed. We stopped the test when you failed. I was like, holy shit.
Hey,
And
wait,
then-
my screen went black. Yeah, because you're done.
Restart this for me.
Garçon. So
Restart
the
this for
next
me.
one, I passed the written. I get the driving, and it's in New Britain, and the girl, she was my age. I'm in my late 20s now, man. I didn't ever went to get a license. I've been driving since I was 15 when I need a license for it. So she was like a little older than me, and she was pretty. So I'm driving 10 and 2, and I'm putting on my blinker, and 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. She's like, all right, we could head back now. So I thought the test was
East.
over. So I'm like, hey, man, so, what are you doing after, man? Maybe we can hang out and blah, 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 blah. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? We're driving back to the motor vehicle. She's like, why are you driving like this all of a sudden? I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, you just failed. She's like, I have to fail you. She's like, you didn't stop at that stop sign. You have one hand on the wheel. She's like, you're not even looking at the road, and you're hitting on me. I was like, you're saying I really failed?
Are you
She's like,
serious?
I just failed you.
So can we go out?
But wait, can I take you out to dinner?
No, I don't want to go
we
out with
talk
you
about
anymore.
this?
I don't
You
want
don't
to
have
go
a
out with you anymore.
license.
Yeah, I don't want to go out with you. You failed me, bitch.
I don't like you anymore. You're toxic. Unbelievable. Can't make it up, bro.
No, you can't make any of this shit up. That is funny as shit.
So that's a good topic, man. Toxicity.
It really is, man. And that, like you said, that's got nothing to do with recovery, sobriety. That's just life. You're gonna run into toxic people, and it really is gonna depend. You can't point the finger and say you're toxic. That's why this is a fucked up situation. No, it's a fucked up situation
I'm a
because I
grown-up.
allowed myself to entertain it.
Yeah.
So you just have to be aware, man.
And at that point, when you say that, man, you're accepting responsibility
That's
for your
right,
own
right,
life, you know?
So
Takes two to tango.
Sure
I'm
does,
gonna,
man.
I'm gonna get to ending this so we can get into the one time, bro. But I wanted to just say something on this. So this toxicity thing came in, and these guys started talking about it, or John started talking about it. Then you started talking about it, and I know exactly what I'm thinking in my head, right? You know. So today was one of the was one of those days where I allowed somebody to teeter me off my beam because of something that they believe in, right? They have their own beliefs about it, and I don't agree with it. And I snapped on the guy. Thank God that I'm not the dude anymore that'll stew in that for 15 years, 20 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? After I was done with the emotional about it, I sat there and I'm like, I feel so fucking bad right now, man. I feel bad, and I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do. As I'm doing what I need to do, I still got to throw my little shit in there, right? Because I'm still not 100% disconnected emotionally from it. And then I do that. And then I talk to you, and you're like, dude, but, and I'm like, I know, man. I fucking know, bro. You're right. You're right. And, but like, I love the fact that it doesn't take 15 years to do this anymore, man. It was, what, an hour and a half, 2 hours? And hopefully we're cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ego aside, emotions aside, let's think about this intellectually. You believe this, I believe this. Let's keep that way and do what we do, man. You know what I mean? We're just two dudes trying to do it.
That's
you know what
life,
I mean?
man. Not everyone agrees with everything.
No, and nobody's, and dude, that happens at home, at work. It happens everywhere.
And Dino's car doesn't need to be parked on all the way up your cement stairs, you know, running up the stairs to fucking
You're
find.
talking about my one time, bro? Well, it did then. It's $20, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Good topic, bro. Good topic, and it was a good day. It was a good day. Lots to learn today about myself. I love the topic. Tonight we're gonna go right into the segment of the one time, bro. And tonight is going to be brought to you by Matt. But before he does that, again, I want to say, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. Sobriety dates. If you need help, we got guys. Merchandise. Not a damn one of us. We do have tumbler right there.
Always the cup.
And the special order waters.
That's the Waterbury.
They're special, all right.
Yeah, they're Waterbury purified waters.
baby.
Yeah.
It's the good stuff. So I drink it.
Yeah.
I mean, so I drink it.
You ever want to see your pee glow in the dark?
Drink it.
You want to go tomato straight out of water? That's it right there. So what do you got, buddy? One time?
Ironically enough, it's kind of it's not kind of. The end is, I have a positive one time tonight.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
I was racking my brain, man. About 55 of them went through my brain as we're running through the show, but I couldn't hang on to one.
Oh.
You ever do that? Like,
So you got it.
Are you
And
asking
then-
him if he's ever done that? Bro, guy strokes out mid-podcast.
So it piggybacks off of my one time that we're going to hear when Chuck's episode airs.
Next week.
Next week. So that ended with this one time. See what I did there?
I did.
I
This-
even heard
this-
it.
I heard the.
I not only saw it, but I heard it.
This one time. So I robbed that house. And then, sadly enough, I had an aunt and uncle. I have an aunt and uncle. Who, they were the only two people that would acknowledge me at this point in my life. And they had agreed to sign me out on parole. And it was only 120 days. And
A long time, dude.
well, yeah, because we didn't make it that far. So
Isn't that an hour and 20 minutes?
yeah,
That's bad.
so
Too much time.
I robbed that one house that Chuck knew. I also robbed my aunt and uncle, and you should have saw that. I remember the big screen TVs when they first came out?
They were heavy.
Heavy.
As hell.
Yeah, they were
I
deep,
took
too.
a
They weren't
70
that flat either.
No, they were thick. Well, I took a 75-inch TV down 2 flights of stairs by myself.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna get into that. It was horrible.
Yeah, man.
You know the beauty part of that is that they blessed me with allow me to make an amends, and they're still I'm very in their lives, and they're in my life.
Nice.
So that was a blessing. So I get 3 years for that. Okay. I come home I had a parole officer, and I think I talked about this one time. When he first met me, he said, I don't even know if he said hi. He said, "You're going back."
No. Thanks for the vote of
I
confidence.
said, in my head, you don't, well, I said out loud, you don't fucking know
Yeah.
me.
You don't know you.
He's like, I do know you, though.
Yeah. I got you all right here.
This big file,
Yeah.
like a fucking old-fashioned phone book in front of me, it tells me about you. And, that was me being a naive, egotistical child, not realizing that, that does say exactly who I am.
Right.
I'm only full of shit, and I think that I could speak my way out of allowing you to believe differently.
Right.
With nothing behind it whatsoever. So, luckily for me, I fucked up at 100 days. So I had 20 days left, which allowed me to still be under the first 3 years. Because if I fucked up, I had 10 suspended after 3 on an old case. No, I got it fucked up. I blew up the car. Did I ever talk about that?
I've heard of it.
I don't
know if
think
you
I
ever talked
shared
about
that
it
here, but that'll be said for another time.
It's an accident.
The first bid I catch, I'm all fucked up with the story. The first bid I catch is 10 suspended after 3. I do 32 months, and I come home. Now, I get this parole officer, and that's when he says, "You're going back." I'm like, fuck you, rah, rah, rah. I don't want to follow rules. I don't want to do what he's telling me. I'm resentful. You want to put me on a bracelet? Like, don't you know who the fuck I am? And I'm just being a child is really what it boils down to. And then, so then I do that other dumb shit. Now I catch another 3. So only I could turn a 3-year bid into 6 years. Because I'm
Magic.
good.
Easy
Magical
math.
like that.
Easy math.
And, I always say the first 3 years, it saved my life. Because I was going down the toilet bad.
Dude. Yeah.
I wasn't ready to change yet. I was only ready to play the game.
Right.
But it took me out of the street long enough
Yep.
to at least allow me another shot at life. And then I go home and I immediately screw up because that's what I do, right? If nothing changes, nothing changes. If you always do what you did, you always get what you got.
Every time.
So the next 3 years, I get very involved in addiction services. And I really did my best to get involved and begin to change on the inside. I always remember hearing guys say, if you don't start to change in here, then you ain't gonna fucking make it out there.
Yeah, what are you waiting for?
There's no magic wand when you pass the gate and they cure you.
Right.
Bless
Starts
you
right
with
now.
sobriety.
It has
Starts
to start.
now.
Even something as simple as raising your hand in a meeting. I remember sitting in a meeting, man, and no one wants to raise their hand. What are you afraid of?
Yeah.
And if you don't get in the habit of doing it, you're not gonna do it. So I really started to work, and I started to build a foundation, and I started getting into doing some step work. And you know what, man? I had a woman counselor, and I still speak to her to this day.
Nice.
And you know what? I remember going to my sponsor at the time. You met him. Mm-hmm. Remember the old boy from up the way? Mm-hmm. And I said, man, I got this woman. I'm trying to do these steps. He said, you do what you got to do, kid.
The wino?
You never met him. He never met him, have you?
No, I don't.
No, you could have met this guy.
Carl Rogers guy? The Massachusetts crew?
Oh, I
No.
brought you up there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I met him.
Oh, you met him?
He spoke there, didn't he?
Yeah, he's
I forgot I brought you up there.
certifiable, the hair cutter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mental.
the barber.
Yeah.
So, he said, you do what you got to do, man. So I did a 1 through 5 with her.
Nice.
I did a 4th and 5th with her. And, I remember saying to her one time, she's like, what, I said, I got this. She said, what do you got? And I was struck stupid. I didn't have an answer because I was always so good at having answers for everything. And I had nothing for her. I was like sitting in my chair dumbfounded, like, what do I get? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here, man.
A little more time.
Yeah. And but man, all these miracles were happening in my life.
Yeah.
A lot of spiritual awakenings were I suspect that they were always happening. I was just unaware to see them.
You were ready
I
to see
wasn't
them.
ready to see them, right?
Right.
So they're happening and things are changing. And lo and behold, man, another 32 months, I'm catching parole again. And God has a hell of a sense of humor. I get the same fucking parole officer. And he makes me wait. He doesn't even take me out on time. He makes me wait a little extra. I had 90 days left. And he said, you're going to be on a bracelet to the last minute.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what?
Cool.
That's okay, man.
Cool, man.
You know, I came out different.
Yeah.
I came out willing.
Yeah, man.
You know, man, whatever you got to tell me, bro, I know I'm already better off than I was yesterday.
And
so
you know,
fuck it.
and you know it's passing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know this ain't forever.
That's right. So he had me going to these fucking programs. I'm like, in my head, I got the certificate for this already.
Yeah.
But you know what, man? You
Yeah,
want me to
man.
do it? I'm going to do it.
They love doing that, dude,
Yeah.
right? Here's my certificate. Okay, cool. You're going to
Gotta
another
go
one
do
right
it again.
now.
Right.
Yeah. Wash,
But
rinse, repeat.
The thing that it showed me was, for the first time in my like, it's always easy to say I'm willing to do whatever,
Right.
Until whatever shows up at my door.
Right.
Now I don't want to do shit.
Willing to do whatever is an action thing.
I'm
bro.
willing to do whatever I feel like.
Yeah. Right.
Up until that point, and I came home a different man. I came home beginning to grow into a man.
Right.
Because I still was very childlike in many ways. And I did everything he said with no question. And I'm quite sure he was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck's going on here?
He's like, I'm gonna get him.
But yeah, and he kept
I'm gonna get him.
Do
and
a
then,
backflip.
and then I wanted to open the shop.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, man, I'm not gonna co-sign that. It's a negative environment. I said, bro, it's legal though.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
doing everything by the book.
Yeah.
I said, we need to run this up the flagpole. I said, this is what I do.
Why? He was able to stop that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in the end, he co-signed it, and I was able to open up. And
now you tattoo him.
no,
that'd
no,
have been
I
awesome,
I
Rob.
haven't seen him again since what I'm about to tell you now. I finally discharged. He gives me the scissors so I could cut the bracelet off myself, and he says, "Okay, man, you're all set." And he shook my hand. He said, "You know what, man? I never saw anyone change like you."
Yeah.
Wow.
Buddy.
And this guy was a dick rider.
Yeah.
You know, and bless you.
Thank you.
And rightly so.
Yeah.
Because I deserved
Look
it.
who we had to deal with.
That's right. And I always was very good at not wanting to be, I wanted to stay toxic. I don't want to assume
Right.
my responsibilities for what I've done.
a
I
probation
only
officer.
wanted, listen, I said I won't do it no more. Get the fuck off my back. I'm good now. Don't you see? I just told you I'm good now. And I can remember a time in my life that handshake wouldn't have meant a thing.
Nah.
But I walked out of that office that day, man. I was smiling like
Yeah,
a fucking like a little kid on Christmas, man, because I felt in my soul that I finally began to make changes.
Yeah, man.
I didn't have to yell from the rooftop that I wasn't that guy in that
Right.
folder no more.
Right. Right.
It was shown through my actions.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was only good at showing you shit that flew out of my mouth. I was not a man by action. I was a child in the way that I behaved,
Right.
in the way that I thought, and in the way that I spoke. And, if it wasn't for me getting into this program, if it wasn't for meeting men like you and meeting amazing people that helped me grow up, and to realize, hey man, I need to grow up. I need to make some changes so I can stop being that guy.
Right.
And if you don't get that self, what's that word I want? Looking into yourself. That can't happen. So yeah, man. What's the word?
Introspection.
Introspective.
Inner perspective.
Yeah.
You're in the ballpark.
Yeah, I'm close.
You're right around there.
So, but man, yeah. So this one time, a parole officer shook my hand.
Yeah.
And said I never saw it.
Wouldn't have meant shit though if you didn't have that history and that long road that you talked about. You know,
Oh, 100%. And it made it sweeter because it was him that I failed with,
Yeah.
and it was him that I succeeded with.
Hey, how hard was it?
It was not.
You know what I mean, dude?
That I've always talked about that. I have not had a hard day in 18 years. I've had hard moments. I've had hard situations. But it's just like you said. You didn't have to sit on the resentment for 15 years.
No.
You sat on it for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Today, I'm able to handle things that come my way.
Right.
And if I can't handle, they always say, God doesn't give you more than you can't handle. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't believe it
God
either.
gives me way more than I can handle. But he's given me people in my life that I can help fucking incorporate their help and get over it. Get through it.
I had a guy say that to me the other day. He just looks at me and he's like, dude, probation's pretty easy.
Yeah, when you're doing what you're supposed to do. Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Dude, it's amazing, right? Like, start doing what you're supposed to do, and they start being good people and not
Amazing,
minding
the
you so much.
correlation, right?
What did you used to say back in the day? Shit's a setup.
Fucking setup, bro. This is a
setup.
system,
Setup from
bro.
the start.
It's a setup for failure, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, but
he was
that was a good one, man. I like the positive one, man. That's a good one.
Those are cool.
All right, guys. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow, comment, all that stuff. Merch, all that. Great one time, great topic. And I think all I have left to say is thank you for being a friend.
Thank you for being